but what does glory for you look like for this ecosystem? You could talk about price, you can talk about notoriety, you can talk about Richard was right, you could talk about ending sadness in the community, like whatever vertical you want to go down. What does glory mean to you for this?
I'll try to use sources, which is mainly just what I remember Richard Hart saying, which is that he's in it for the glory at this point. Richard Hart has already been independently wealthy. He's not trying to get rich off this. Probably will be rich off this if it works out well. But he's talked about he wants to have the best chart, he wants to have the best tech, he wants to have the best community. So as far as the chart goes, I think he's hoping that Hex can do another 10,000x. So that is probably glory on that front, which Hex doing a 10,000x, my gosh, I think we're looking at, let's do the math actually. Where's that? Where you at? GoPulse.com. Shout out to those guys, by the way. I can't remember.
3, 2, 1. Quick maths. Yes.
Boom. Quick maths. All right. 36 hundredths of a penny. So 10,000 times 0.0036. $36 Hex. If Hex hits $36, good Lord, I will never have to work another day in my life. And like, please let it be so.
Well, assuming there's liquidity, we you would assume at that price that maybe that's a good conversation too. The assumption that a high Hex price or high price of any of these coins that goes up that much and does that many returns kind of is implicit. The premise is implicit there. There will be enough to exit, for at least a lot of people if they wish to at that time. Because how would it go up that much and not have enough people trading in their other coin that has value for such a thing? So, a lot of times you'll see coins launch, maybe price goes up a lot, but there's not a lot of liquidity there with Hex and the huge community and the massive price run that it would happen with that. I don't see, I'd be shocked if that was a problem for there to be, I don't know. What do you think? Hex $36. I don't know if I'm sure there's some math to do on this too, but that's got to be like tens of millions of dollars of liquidity. That's got to be 100 million. Like it's got to be somewhere through there. Hex is $36.
I personally don't think Hex is going to get to $36, but that would be absolutely wild.
But if you do, you don't think it'll be a problem for people to actually extract value. I guess that's the point.
I think it's a little naive to believe that you personally are going to hit that 10,000x, because realistically, probably what's going to happen is it might wick up to it and then immediately like boop. So one of the personal goals that I have for 2025, top of the bull run, is I want to capture. I'm doing the Pareto principle here. I want the 80-20. I want to make sure I capture 80% of the gains minimum, because I don't expect to hit the exact top on a lot of stuff, but to the day. That's patently absurd, in my personal opinion. Unless you are making the top yourself, which I am not in a position to make the top, believe me. To answer Tam's question real quick, what if we go to 1,000,000x? 10,000x to 1,000,000x would be $3,600, I believe.
Per Hex.
Quick math. Oof. Per Hex. Per P-Hex. P-Hex, by the way.
I believe I can fly.
I know, right? Okay, so we answered one question. That's the best chart. Theoretically, Hex does another 10,000x. That's the glory. Absolute, like, top, peak, 3, 4, 5, 6 standard deviations out from the mean. The community, or actually, let's go for best founder. That would mean that I think Richard Hart wins all of the legal stuff, which means Richard Hart beats Interpol, Richard Hart beats the SEC, Richard Hart beats any crazy allegations that he's a scammer anymore, because so many people, he's done it. The other thing he's talked about for the community aspect, he wants to make 1 million millionaires. That is a lot. I believe that is $1 million is $1 trillion in the hands of the Hex community. That is what that means, or at least the paper net worth valuation, if you do it that way. That's the easy way to get there. So, million millionaires, community glory. 10,000x on Hex, the chart glory. Founder glory is probably winning all the legal cases going on, and kind of I think he wants to hear people say that they were wrong when it comes to all the stuff that he's previously been kind of like screwed out of a little bit. I can't remember the exact details. RG3 would know what I'm talking about here.
Say thank you. Say thank you.
Exactly. Just say thank you. I think he would be very happy with that. So there you go. That's the glory for me. or in my interpretation of the glory here.
Yeah, I think one of the, almost not what do you call it, ancillary pieces of it would be, just people are just like, hey, if Hex goes to $1, it goes to $5, it goes to whatever, you can't call it a scam. You can't do it. It already went to 55 cents. And if you were yelling scam then, you've hit the threshold of what you can do. If it goes down 90-some% and goes back to $1, you can't keep calling it a scam. It's impossible.